Welcome to the AC 24/7 Top Story Countdown. We'll guide you through the biggest news of the day. Our focus, advocating our rights, advocating health, and advocating Earth. Here's our pick for number 3.
No one's backyard should look like this.
Magali Urbina is a Republican small business owner who has riverfront property in Eagle Pass, Texas,
¿Quién se cortó?
where scenes like these of migrants screaming that they've been cut by razor wire in the water, this time a 6-year-old girl,
Oh my God.
have poked holes in her support for Governor Greg Abbott's border security initiative known as Operation Lone Star.
Is that part of your frustration with Operation Lone Star?
It is. I just hate to see someone screaming, saying that they're cut.
Urbina says that while she has always supported Texas securing the border,
We need Operation Lone Star in our community. There are cartel members taking advantage. There's human smuggling, there's trafficking, there's death.
she's against the state deploying razor wire, barricading her gates, blocking access to her own property, and refusing multiple times to remove the barriers. Texas officials have said the purpose of the wire is to deter smuggling between the ports of entry and not to injure migrants.
Do you think all this is political?
Yes,
Does it bother you?
it does. It does bother me. Like I said, where's the truth? You just put the sea wire here and making people believe that you've stopped what's happening at the border. It hasn't stopped.
Urbina's property is in Border Patrol's Del Rio sector, the busiest area on the U.S. southern border in June, with more than 24,600 migrant apprehensions. Even one of Operation Lone Star's staunchest supporters, Democratic Eagle Pass Mayor Rolando Salinas, has dialed back his support.
Things have changed, things that obviously I don't like.
Salinas went from signing an affidavit giving Texas full access and authority to arrest migrants at this public park, to rescinding the measure with unanimous support from City Council.
All those in favor? Unanimous. The concern that I had is allegations of that there might have been excessive force or anything done to intentionally hurt people. I'm against.
The Texas Office of the Inspector General is investigating allegations made by a Texas state trooper working under Operation Lone Star that he was ordered to push migrants into the river and deny them water. Texas officials have denied that any troopers were given such orders. Other members of this border community with Mexican-American roots have this message for the governor about Operation Lone Star's continued presence in their public park.
Get the hell out of our park. Plain and simple. Get the hell out of our park.
We can have border security without cruelty.
I would like to see Operation Lone Star out of the park and everything out of the river.
Urbina drove us along her riverfront property
Oh, here they are.
to catch up with the little girl hurt by the razor wire while trying to cross illegally. But as she approached,
I'm the landowner, Mrs. Urbina from Heavenly Farms.
a Texas state trooper questioned her before letting her through.
You want to tell them I'm out here on my property?
And there she was, the 6-year-old walking along the banks of the Rio Grande.
Ay, los pies.
Her mother saying her daughter's feet got caught in the razor wire, but appeared okay.
What gets you every time?
Just hearing a human being crying that they're hurt. It's not easy.
Like the Advocate channel on Facebook for the best way to get updates on stories that advocate for equality, justice, our rights, and more. AC 24/7 continues with today's top 2 pick.
Tonight, Georgia residents who served on the grand jury that indicted former President Trump for trying to overturn the 2020 election are now facing threats and getting doxxed online.
These people were called to serve and do their civic duty by serving on that grand jury, and now they've been basically put on the X by these disclosures.
Names, pictures, profiles, and even home addresses purporting to belong to the grand jurors are now circulating on far-right websites like 4chan and other social media platforms. Their names were published on page 9 of the indictment, a public document, as is the practice in Georgia. But experts say
this is really a quirk of law in the state of Georgia, that the names of grand jurors come out with the indictment. So this is really the first time we've seen this kind of thing come out in a national case.
What I'm going to do now...
CNN cannot independently verify the details, and it's unclear if the information circulating online is that of the actual grand jurors or just people of the same name. Former Georgia State Senator and attorney Jen Jordan testified in this case, and she says these threats might impede prosecutors' ability to find a trial jury.
Everyone is going to know who they are. Their lives are going to be turned upside down. And so just to be able to sit a jury of people who would be even willing to put, their lives on the line is going to be really, really difficult.
And it's not just the grand jury under threat. Judge Tanya Chutkin, who is overseeing the federal election interference case against Trump, received a threatening voicemail earlier this month. According to court documents, a Texas woman called Chutkin's chambers on August 5th and left a message threatening to kill anyone who went after former President Trump. She also allegedly threatened to kill Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, as well as people in the LGBTQ community. She is now in custody.
Thank you very much.
Over the last week, Trump has repeatedly posted to social media speaking directly to the Fulton County grand jurors and Judge Chutkin, saying, "Will someone please tell the Fulton County grand jury that I did not tamper with the election?" And saying that Chutkin obviously wants me behind bars, very biased and unfair.
Follow the Advocate channel on Twitter and Instagram to stay updated on stories that matter every day. Here's our #1 story of the day. Take a look.
So many of us residents felt like we had absolutely no warning.
Hawaii has one of the largest public safety outdoor siren warning systems in the world. Sirens that were silent as wildfires raged. Question is, why? First, it was this.
You would not have saved those people on the mountainside.
Do you regret not sounding the sirens?
I do not. The sirens, as I had mentioned earlier, is used primarily for tsunamis.
That's what the head of Maui's Emergency Management Agency said Wednesday, before suddenly resigning a day later. But even before that press conference ended, his reason had changed. This time suggesting the sirens weren't used because people wouldn't have been able to hear the warning.
It's an outdoor siren, so a lot of people who are indoors, air conditioning on, whatever the case may be, they're not going to hear the siren. Plus, the winds were very gusty and everything. I heard it was very loud, and so they wouldn't have heard the sirens.
Same story with Hawaii's governor. First this.
Sirens were typically used for tsunamis or hurricanes. To my knowledge, at least I never experienced them in use for fires.
Then minutes later, another explanation. This time, the governor suggested at least some of the sirens were broken.
The sirens were essentially immobilized, we believe, by the extreme heat that came through. Some were broken, and we're investigating that.
Yet that doesn't all track with the county's own webpage, MauiSirens.com, which clearly states how the siren system is capable of alerting residents to multiple disasters, including wildfires.
Emergency alert.
And we also found this explainer about the sirens' uses on Hawaii's Emergency Management Agency's webpage.
We also use sirens for hurricanes, brush fires, flooding, lava, hazmat conditions, or even a terrorist event.
This map, also from the county's page, shows where the warning sirens are located. According to the state, there are about 400 sirens statewide, including 80 on Maui. And in the historic town of Lahaina, where more than 100 people were killed in the flames, there are 5 sirens. 5 sirens that were not used to warn those in grave danger. Instead, officials say they chose to send alerts by text message to cell phones, as well as alerts on landlines and through TV and radio.
It is our practice to use the most effective means of conveying an emergency message to the public during a wildland fire.
While that may have worked in some cases, the wildfire moved so swiftly it knocked out power and cell service. So how were residents supposed to receive those warnings?
There's no warning at all. There's not a siren, not a phone alert, nothing, not a call.
And Hawaii has had problems with its alert system in the past. In 2018, a cell phone alert was mistakenly sent warning residents of an incoming missile attack. Obviously, that was a false alarm. But this has really been going on for decades. Back in 1960, after a tsunami hit the area of Hilo, Hawaii, residents didn't even know what the warning siren meant. They didn't know what to do, so they ran up towards the ocean instead of into the mountainside area for safety, and 61 people died.
Thanks for watching the Advocate Channel's top stories. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow, like, and share, or check out advocatechannel.com for even more stories that advocate for you.